Hey, brain friends. As I step into season 3 of Brain Friends, I am filled with gratitude for those conversations, for the laughter, and for the stories that will remain with me. I met some phenomenal people at the memorial in Augusta, Georgia a few weeks ago. I want to give a shout out to her entire family. Of course, my Dukes. Her sister Tab, her father, Mr. Dave, her aunt and uncle and cousins out in Maryland. That Maryland crew don't play about Seles. They don't play about their Dave Trina. So, of course, what up, Unc? Hey, Auntie. She has the best friends, and it was funny because I referred to one of them as her Tay. And as all you guys know, me and Tay, we rock. And her Tay, she has two Tays. She has Task and Veronica. And those are her Tays. And them girls, bout it. So I want to give a shout out to them. I just want to say thank you to all of her friends. Chica, I ain't forget you, girl. That really helped me, and they didn't know me. I don't know them. They don't know me, but we all love Trina. So, in addition, there are 2 scholarship awards in her name. One is out of Georgetown. It's the Dave Trina Celeste Gadsden PhD Scholarship Fund through Georgetown University. Supports junior scholars who aim to follow in Dr. Gadsden's footsteps and continue her mission to improve equity for stroke survivors. And the other one is the Dave Trina Celeste Gadsden Health Equity Grant Program through the National Aphasia Association, of which I am on the board. It's an initiative designed to support innovative projects that address systemic inequalities in aphasia care and research. Both of these scholarships and programs, grants, need our support. If we don't, who will? So the information to give to these scholarships will be in the show notes. Yeah, they'll be in the show notes, and it's on us to support these important initiatives. Also the information to visit those websites. I have to say the cognitionrecoverylab.com tribute to her is phenomenal. The one on the NAA is also great, but the one from Georgetown has some video. You gotta love the video. So they have some video from the service, actually. So this entire season will be dedicated to Dr. Dave Trina Celeste Gadsden, echoing her joy, her laughter, and her spirit, making it a joyful tribute rather than a solemn farewell. I don't know how to do this and not have It's So Hard to Say Goodbye playing in the background. I really don't know how to do this without doing that. So honestly, I have been struggling to get back up on this mic. So to that end, today we're doing a tribute episode, and what we're going to do is we're taking it back to the original neuroplasticity. When we did neuroplasticity, you know what? I'm going to let the episode speak for itself. But the point is, we had to re-record it because the levels weren't great. I now have the technology to fix those levels so I can share that episode with you right now. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reaching out to the family with your condolences and to me with your condolences. So on behalf of the Gadsden family, Ma Dukes, Tab, Quincy, hey Quincy, the entire family, I thank you. And to her guy Lawrence, he is a man amongst men. Their brother stepped all the way up and through. So shout out to you, sir. I just want to thank everyone for just opening their arms to me because I didn't know anybody, but everybody knew me and treated me like family. So I thank you for that. And anyway, welcome back to Brain Friends, or better yet, welcome to Brain Friends. Let's get it.
Hey, Angie.
Hey, Dr. Seles, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know what? I am feeling fine, but a little, what's the word I want to use? A little shunned. I'm going to go with shunned. I'm going to go with straight shunned. I was on Instagram on your page, and I saw that you had a full page, like 4-page write-up in like the Asher magazine. Well, I got to find this about online. Why didn't you call me?
Oh, so the Asha magazine, they actually did that a while ago. They did that, I think, last year in conjunction with the Asha conference, where we talked about health disparities. Yeah. But I do have some good news that I don't know if you saw.
What's that?
Which is part of my disclaimer for my performance in today's episode is that I was celebrating because our manuscript got published.
What?
Yes, the Journal of Communication Disorders, Aphasia Severity is Modulated by Race and Lesion Size in Chronic Stroke Survivors, a retrospective study.
That is amazing. I am super proud. I'm so proud of you. That is awesome. So when do you present this? Like, how does that work, the process to present any of that?
Oh, yeah. So I'll actually be speaking at the ASHA conference 2022. And so I'll touch a little bit about it there. And then, I think by the time this airs, we might have already had your aphasia awareness fair.
I'm so excited.
I'm going to talk a little bit about it there too. And yeah, I just really want to get the word out.
Oh, that is absolutely fabulous. So where can I read it? Is it on your Instagram? Like where?
Yeah,
where can
definitely.
I find okay.
Where can you find it? Yeah, so it's on my website, www.dceleste.com. That's where you can find all information about the things that I'm doing, including publications and Brain Friends. But honey, I'll send you the email with my special link.
Yes, I need the special link. I need that. I need that. Yes. Show notes. Put that in the show notes. Let our people see you are doing great things.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fabulous. Listen, let me ask you a question because we're going to jump into the episode, but I had to check you out on that. I am so proud of you. You're doing such great work, and you're such an inspiration. And I'm just so proud to be doing this with you. So listen, I have a question. I saw a meme, and I know you can't go by what you see on the meme, so don't come for me, right? But the meme said that if you have brain damage, you will always have, like, that part of the brain is dead. It might not, that is not going to come back online, but what you do get is to be able to kind of go around that dead area. But the part that's dead is dead. Is that true?
Yeah. So oftentimes what happens with a stroke is that those pieces that were damaged by the stroke are dead. And one of the things that therapy does, as well as one of the things that makes our brain so amazing, is that the brain will build new connections and find out a different way to go, since it can't access that information through the regular route, because those neurons are now dead. So that's true, but the brain will build new ones.
Okay, so it's kind of like the analogy I used to like to give when I first had my stroke. I asked my neurologist. I said I feel like it's like I'm driving to my grandmom's house, and when I get there, the house is gone. There's no houses around it. It's just a little piece of the playground that was across the street, and it's just gone. But I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be in my head. But but grandma's house has just been leveled, and I couldn't. I am messing up my own analogy. The point is, let me back up. Let me back up. The analogy is I'm driving to grandmom's, and when I get there, the house is gone. And what I asked my neurologist is the house gone, or is my GPS just taking me to the wrong place? And she says, no, your GPS is taking you to the right place. Grandma's house is just gone. And with that, I said, okay, good enough. I have to rebuild it. And I have to build that. And I had to kind of get on with the business of intentionally rewiring and trying to relearn what I had. And what she said was, what I was describing was neuroplasticity. And that is the relearning and the rewiring of information.
Yeah, exactly. Because the brain will rewire itself to function in the same way, but differently, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that's awesome about our brain is that it is adaptable like plastic. And when we think about neuroplasticity, it's activity driven. And so frequently used pathways are strengthened, whereas, the pathways that you don't use are weakened. So it goes back to that saying of use it or lose it. So there are ways to help build that neuroplasticity, and form new connections, given that the old connections are either weakened or dead because of damage.
We got to get back into it, but we got to do our icebreakers.
Oh, this icebreaker this time. Look, I already gave my disclaimer, but so we're going to do recall.
We're going to refresh the disclaimer like, no.
So we're going to do delayed memory recall, and let the record show that we'll see how delayed. Okay. So delayed memory recall is where I'll give you 3 words, you'll give me 3 words, and then we'll go on with our conversation. And after so long, we'll have to repeat those words. Do you want to do 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
Let's do 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I actually have a timer, all right?
Okay.
Because,
prepared.
Okay. Come on, prepared. Come on, prepared. All right. So, what are your 3 words for me?
Okay, your 3 words are light, pillow, Kermit.
Light, Kermit, and what?
Light, pillow, Kermit.
Okay. Your 3 words are pillow, camera, house.
Okay. Pillow, camera, house.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I have another question. With I already asked you kind of what is neuroplasticity and how does it work, but can people with aphasia use neuroplasticity to improve their communication?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think people with aphasia can improve their communication using neuroplasticity by targeting things in your thinking, your actions, and your routine. And what I mean by that is, the more you do new things, the more connections are built. And so rather it's establishing a routine to even start that process. So, how some people are like, oh, I don't really have a routine. I just go with the flow.
Right.
That's fine. But when you're trying to build new habits or new connections, then it goes back to that use it or lose it framework. And so you have to be doing something to create that repetitive and that repetition piece. So, if you think about your brain as a muscle, the only thing that can help build muscle is actually lifting weights and doing those types of activities to build that muscle. And so that's one way, is through your actions and your routine, making sure that you're doing things that are actually like making your brain think. So a lot of people sometimes watch a lot of television.
Wow.
And the thing about television is that not only is it a sedentary activity, but your brain's not doing really anything. It's just there. And so
it's just kind of washing over you.
Exactly. And so activities like that aren't going to be the best in helping to create those new neural pathways, because legit, you're not doing nothing.
See, this is the after I've been out on a night. Because legit, you ain't doing nothing.
We're celebrating that we were just published, so
pardon the realness, because legit, you're not trying. No, but I think, I tried to stay as actively. That's why I kind of involved myself in research as well, because I wanted to just keep doing something that would be helpful after therapy, because by the time I got out of therapy, I found therapy not to be that great of, I didn't get my greatest gains there. It was definitely after the fact. And I'm sure the foundation was set in therapy. So I'm not saying like it was a waste of time, but I wasn't seeing any gains then, because the gains are slow, steady, and silent.
Oh, that part. Because the other thing too, Angie, is that neuroplastic changes happen all the time, but the magnitude depends on how much activity the brain receives. So again, the more practice leads to more learning, and it's not limited in age. And so, with therapy, you were having some of those changes, but participating in research and using your brain in a different way is going to help create stronger connections.
Like editing a podcast.
Look, okay.
Come on, editor.
Yes.
Come on, editor.
Exactly. Because even in that, the world needs to know that not only do you edit the podcast, but you will send me
Because what we not going to do.
Look. And so I think that even in that, like, you're really strengthening your brain because you're exposing your brain to these new things. And, you know, one of the things about neuroplasticity also is that repeated and directed attention toward a thing can also help rewire that activity. And so the point that you are reading and learning new things within the podcast and editing, that's like not only using a different part of your brain, but also strengthening and rewiring it as well.
Wow. And you had said something earlier about almost like it, when you're saying the brain is a muscle, is it helpful to do these things in like the, you know, let's say I'm doing, you know, is it with working out? Like if I use that type of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do you think the consistency matters?
Oh, yeah. The consistency definitely matters. Again, because you're strengthening and you're building a new way. You think about it, how if you're traveling somewhere for the first time, you might have to use a GPS the first time, but the more you go that route, the more your brain is going to remember and say, oh, okay, well, no, now I do this. And that's one of the things, another tip that I strongly suggest if you're just looking at your brain and aging is that, you know, turn off that GPS sometimes because when you're using the GPS all the time, even after you kind of have gone that way a little bit, it's good to allow your brain that exercise and that practice to actually try to remember
and navigate
and navigate it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think those type of things where you had to, you know, back in the day, you had to get the directions from the guy at the rest stop. And he's like, all right, 6 lights, make a left, then a right, you're going to see this sign, and then, you know, straight down, and you're, you know, and so it was like 8 different steps. Then we got MapQuest. Now we got Google. We don't need to know. Now I don't have to talk to nobody about nothing.
See?
But that's taken away from what the brain power or the brain muscle. Oh, look at us, 5 minutes. Okay. Wow, this is embarrassing. Yeah, I'm gonna need a. Can I get a
clue?
Can I phone a friend?
Let me go first with mine because it might trigger one of yours.
Okay, go ahead.
See, look, I done popped out like, let me go first, and I'm like, okay, what were they? It was pillow, camera, house.
Yes.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea. They were simple words.
Yeah. We had one word in common.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
I gave you one of your words back.
Yep.
See, that should have told you right there how this was going.
I thought you were making it easy for me.
No, you need to read the room and recognize I had forgotten immediately. So was it all right? Well, maybe I can do that. Was one of your words pillow?
Yes.
Okay. Well, which is why. That's very telling. So yeah, I didn't give you pillow because that was one of I didn't even know. Okay. So I had actually forgotten immediately, which is not funny, but wow. And I was trying, I tried to at least hold one or two of them, but I did because I said pillow, so I gave that right back to you, which was a clue to me.
Yeah.
So that's a win. So that's one. I got 1 out of 2.
1 out of 2.
That's what we're doing.
So sometimes with the delayed memory recall type task, we'll use a strategy to where we either visualize it or link them together, the words somehow in our mind. Did you use any of those strategies? Is that helping?
It does. Usually what I do is I did a lot of memory recall at Temple, and they would have me, and what I would do is put the word in a sentence and then try to remember the sentence and then pull the words from there. But I was not able to, or I didn't do that. Like that just my only trick that I have, I failed to implement.
Okay. You want me to give you a clue, or you just want me to tell you what they are?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll take the clue because I'll take the clue, but I'm not.
So one clue is it's the opposite of dark.
Light? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't even sound familiar.
So it was light, pillow.
Oh, you waiting for me to jump in? I'm looking at you like, go, and? Frog?
Kermit.
Oh, God. Dang on it, Angelique. And I repeated Kermit twice because I didn't hear you say it right. Oh, that's yeah. That was not even on the. That wasn't even on the horizon. That wasn't even in the room. Yeah, it goes pretty quick. That memory recall is so not my. But I am getting better, and it's not as prevalent as it seems. You showing me a picture of Kermit, and I'm like, green
frog.
Right. Is that what I said? I said frog. See,
frog. Yeah, but that's okay. I didn't even think. Well, if it means anything, I didn't even think to say frog. I thought Kermit, the actual frog's
name.
Yeah.
Which is what you gave me. I mean, it's not
right.
This ain't a 1,000-word pyramid. I'm supposed to come up with the real word. You gave me a word. I'm supposed to repeat the word, right? It's not.
You were out celebrating with me.
Yes, I went. For the record, in spirit, we went to the football game in Friday Night Lights in Morristown. We went and saw our high school team play. My husband and I, we do that on Friday nights.
Oh.
We go to Chick-fil-A, eat in the car, and then go to the game, and then we come home. So that was.
So that's okay. So that's the thing with the 3 words. But I think one of the things that you mentioned is great is that you do have a strategy, and yeah, sometimes you remember them, sometimes you don't.
What you gonna do? Almond Joy's got nuts and Mounds don't. Like, it is what it is.
That's the neuroplasticity of the brain.
Wow. And so the things that you just all of a sudden didn't know, like when you get to it's all about the new routes that you create though, because even though, if I go back to the grandmom GPS analogy, you can, I'm on my way, but then I get lost midway. And it's how do you get the new routes? Because it's kind of like, things have been washed away. That train of thought, that pathway is gone. It's so now with neuroplasticity, my brain is rewiring itself and making new pathways to get me to the same information. That process to me is absolutely mind-blowing, because the brain is just so fascinating. But when you're creating the new pathways, is it going to take more energy from me as the person with brain damage to continue to function? What I'm saying is, like, am I going to be extra tired because I have this new pathway? I can't go the original route, but I have this pathway to get me to the same information. Is that going to take more energy for me to get there? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that everybody is different, and I think that is a great question for. I do think that everyone is different, and I think that that's a great question for like your medical provider. But,
Okay.
one thing that you do have to understand is like oftentimes people with brain injury or after a stroke report feeling fatigue and feeling tired. And it's really important to listen to your brain and go to sleep when you are feeling tired, because that could be, when you're sleeping and you're resting, that's your brain's opportunity to help kind of consolidate those new pathways and memory. That's like when your brain is doing its work. It's learned all these things, it's been active all day. And so now it's tired. And when you go to sleep, you give your brain that opportunity to consolidate those memories and connect everything together. Does that make sense?
No, it does. That makes perfect sense. And I think, well, first of all, when you have a stroke, you're exhausted all the time. Like you can knock out a quick 14, 16 hours sleep session easily. But when you look at neuroplasticity, is there anything that a person can do specific? Is there anything that people with aphasia can do to increase their neuroplasticity, like to help build those new roads?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things. The biggest thing is to keep the brain busy, keep it healthy. And when I say busy, I'm not saying be a busybody. Look, let me
Just all up
differentiate
in,
that. You just doing stuff to do stuff. I'm not saying that.
just liking everybody's post. Like,
Right. I'm saying you want to do things that are actively requiring your brain to think through things. So rather, even if it's something like a word search or a word puzzle or a puzzle or just anything that's really requiring your brain to do something. If it's something that you used to do very frequently, like maybe cook, and now you're having a hard time cooking, maybe look at a recipe, even if it's, a recipe that you followed before.
right.
It might be helpful to do something like that. That can keep the brain busy and help. Exercise, of course, is something that research has shown to improve. And one of the exercises that I like a lot, especially with brain recovery, is cross crawl exercises.
What is that?
Yeah, so cross crawl exercises integrate both hemispheres in strengthening network the communication of the corpus callosum. And so basically it's like if you bring your right arm to your left leg. And so think about like exercises like either bicycles or anytime you're making your right side of the body cross over your left side. Because the brain is contralateral. And so oftentimes, especially with people with aphasia, they might have that left hemisphere brain damage, but physically.
What does contralateral mean?
So contralateral is that the brain integrates the opposite side of the body. And so innervates the opposite side of the body. And so, if someone has left side brain damage, they might physically see that manifest on their right side, and vice versa. If they have a right-sided head injury, they might physically see the manifestation, so numbness or weakness on the left side.
Right. Like, so my right hand began to close up the night of my stroke. That's because the stroke was on my left side of my brain.
Exactly.
And that's also where communication is held.
Right. And so those cross crawl exercises, it crosses that communication because you're bringing one side of your body to the other side.
So are there like things we can do?
Yeah. Okay. So I do have a couple of neuroplasticity brain exercises for us to do that I looked up, and I'll put these in the show notes. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one is to draw a circle in the air with your left hand.
Okay.
And draw a triangle with your right hand.
Oh God, that's not. Are you actually doing it? You ain't right. Okay, I'm about to poke myself in the eye.
Look,
I'm not.
okay.
I can't.
That
That's
one's
tough.
yeah. So that one's a
That
little
one's
challenging.
tough.
But
Yeah,
you see how you're doing.
I start making rectangles for
Exactly.
both. Like, yeah.
Okay, I have another one.
All right.
Make two fists with the hands facing you.
Okay.
Extend your left thumb
All right.
and your right pinky.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so you have your two fists with your hands facing you. Extend your left thumb and your right pinky to the left. Left thumb, right pinky to the left. Switch back and forth.
Oh, nope. I got two.
Yeah, I don't have that one either. I'm going to blame
Okay.
that one on celebration.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, listen, Angie's about to lose her eye, so let's not. I can't. But that's good stuff. And yeah, those type of exercises are so key. I didn't know I couldn't touch my thumb to my fingers until the neurologist asked me to do it. I remember it was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that was, for me, it was the things that I would lose that I didn't know were up for grabs. Like, I didn't
Right.
know I could lose that.
Right.
Even with language, I didn't know that I could lose the ability to do that. And so, yeah, that was the thing for me. But yeah, that is good stuff.
Yeah. The other thing too, that we definitely need more science on, but have shown to be effective in helping people with aphasia increase neuroplasticity is things like art and I said exercise already, but things like art and music. One of the things behind that is that art and music is like on the right side of the brain, where, like the left side of the brain is our language. Those types of things usually reside in the right side. And so the question is if those are stronger in that area because the right side of the brain hasn't been influenced by the stroke, that maybe that can strengthen some of, the left side types of activities. For an example, like, if you're really big in art and drawing and things like that, maybe that can support language activity. And again, the research hasn't confirmed this to massive extents. So,
okay, right. Don't
come for me. But, I do think that there has to be something to it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's early in the morning. I can't. These words are rushing over me. I'm not even going to hold you.
What do you mean the words are rushing over you?
It's when I don't pick up what you're saying.
Okay. Okay. What I just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, first of all, I'm saying as a whole, like the thing with the words, like I should be able to give you one or two of them back. But there's times where words just literally rush over me, and I'm not picking any of them up. I consider it to be like, it's like holding up a red cup at a fire hydrant. You know what I mean? Like it's too much. It's just too much force. Or at a fire hydrant. You know what I mean? Like it's just the hose is too much. I have the cup, but there's nothing getting in the cup. That's another great analogy from your girl. What?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the thing about neuroplasticity, and it's one of the things that it goes to show that when you have brain fog or you've been out the night before and then you get up the next morning, how your brain is still recovering.
Just say recovery.
No, but I couldn't find another word, but rebooting. Yes. The brain is still
reestablishing with the collective.
Right, rebooting. So all of that to say, I understand what you're
Right. No judgment.
Right, what you're saying, and of course no judgment. But what I was saying about the thing I just said with the neuroplasticity piece and things that can help to increase the neuroplasticity with the art.
Right.
What I'm basically trying to say with that is that the more people do things that either they enjoy or that are new to them, the more plasticity, the more they put themselves at a better position to increase plasticity. Rather it's learning art, rather it's learning a new song, whatever it is that's new to you, and can support you actually using your brain, even if it's the creative side of your brain, can help build neurons and connections.
I do have to say, and people laugh at me all the time because, you know, I play my basketball game online or the Xbox, but it helped me so much with my hand and eye coordination. You got to build a dude to play basketball for you, and they give you down to the hair follicles. Is he bald? Do he have braids? Is he wearing red? It's a whole thing. And a couple of times it was at first I really couldn't even do it, but it's just a matter of being able to do things that are hard and then stay with it. And that's the thing. Like I like doing it. And so I just stayed at it even when it wasn't going well. And I think sometimes people, it doesn't go well, they get discouraged and they leave. And I get that too. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know how that feels, because I do. But I think I just want to encourage people to continue to try and continue to push forward, because the only way, you can't control the wind, you can only adjust your sails. You must adjust.
You can't control the wind, you can only adjust your sails.
Yep.
I like that.
Come on, sails.
Come on, sails.
Come on, wind.
No, yes! I think that's beautiful. And, you know, we're out of time, but I think that you said something that's so important, is that even though it was challenging, you stuck with it. And the thing, if any message I can give, it would be find something that you can be consistent at and that you can stick with, because that's what's going to help create some of those new networks and get you stronger. And so that's the biggest thing. Sometimes people come out the gate with like, I'm going to do this big thing, but then they fall off, and then that creates, you know, its own set of mental health pieces of, oh, I didn't do it, but you kind of set yourself up. So
for failure.
Find something that you can be consistent at, I think, is a great start.
All right. Well, I have to tell you my quick story, and I'm going to let you go. Who's to say? But when I first had my stroke, Rosetta Stone was on sale. And so I brought it, and I'm like, I'll learn, you know, I'm going to get new pathways. I'm going to learn Spanish. Okay. I don't know any more Spanish than I did from 11th grade Spanish.
Wow.
It was so, even opening the package was like overwhelming. And I didn't get to step one. And to this day, I still haven't. And I totally own the thing, but I just couldn't. It was just, that's too much for what I could do. So I had to ramp it down a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you guys for listening, downloading, and staying with us. We are the Brain Friends.
Brain Friends.
Brain Friends. All right, guys.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Brain Friends. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Brain Friends, the podcast. I'm so extra.